Ooh, coming in hot, Chichi. What's going on, man? You look all tidied up real nice. You got the button down on?
I got some stuff going on today. Yeah, it's a button down. It's spring. It's like some Easter colors. Looks like the Easter bunny puked on me a little.
Looks like you're about to open the pool, bro. That's what it looks like.
There you go. I'll tell you. Dude, what were you gonna say?
I'll tell you what. I was gonna say. I just came in. What's the weather like there in Long Island?
It was like 10 degrees this morning, and I walked outside like 10 minutes ago, and it was like nicer. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it's like 50-something here, I think, but it's a little chilly. But I just went out and took Macy for a walk, dude. Yeah. I don't know if you've ever put on like a weighted vest. Like back in the day, we used to train maybe at Columbia. So Sarah's into this weighted vest thing. So she gets me. She's been wearing this 20-pound vest on walks. One of her friends says, you got to do this. I'm like, so she gets me this 40-pound vest. Meanwhile, the freaking FedEx guy came down the road, the yard. I thought it was going to be a lawsuit, dude. He's coming down. He's like, oh, he like almost ate it. Yard sale, like literally like he started like, a little bit of a beer belly. Looked like he ate a Volkswagen. He's coming down. He shouldn't be carrying a 40-pound vest. He starts shake, rattle, and rolling. Almost goes down, gets it to the thing. I could barely pick it up, dude. It was like, because it's in the Amazon box. You think it's supplements, and you're like, So anyway, I put it on today, Chinch. I go out. I'm like, I'm going to take Macy for a quick walk. She's getting a little bit of a boiler, too. We got to clean her up a little bit. Her belly's like, I'm like, what are we doing, Mace? We're cutting down her food intake.
Under the table.
Under the table. She is, dude. She's a scavenger, too. I'm like, what are we doing? So I'm taking her for a walk, dude. I got my big black jacket on with this huge vest underneath it. I actually look like I'm a Secret Service agent or a SWAT team, because you could tell I have a vest on or something.
Right.
I'm coming around the corner. Macy's gets ready to, do her thing in this guy's yard. We're walking by, and the vest is so heavy. I'm like, man, this is really heavy. So I'm like, so I take my hands and I kind of pick it up like this to hold it because it's on my neck. And this dude comes out of his house. So had this black jacket on that looks like, I could have a bomb underneath or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm a SWAT team. I'm holding the vest like this. My dog's going to the bathroom. He looks at me really awkward. Like, is this guy from the neighborhood? I'm like, how you doing, sir? Please don't call the police. I live down the street. 7 houses down. So.
Right.
That was my morning, bro. That was my morning. I just got home. I'm like, come on, Mason, let's go.
Amazing.
Run home.
Anyway, you know who's having a good morning today? Jackson Merrill of the San Padres. 9 years, $135 million for the young man.
Wow. That's a great sign, dude. 21 years old, made the team last year. He was a shortstop coming up. Made the team as a 20-year-old. They put him in center field because they liked his bat so much. And all he did was become one of the best players on that team last year. I mean, how clutch was he down August, September without Jackson Merrill with the game-winning homers and how good he was and coming through in the clutch? Yeah. Great move by A.J. Preller. I mean, so what is it, 9 years? So 9 years. I think it starts after next year. So it'll probably bring him to be 30, 31, which means he'll get another nice contract probably after that. But if you're sitting there right now and you're 21 years old and you get offered, $134 million, $135 million.
Correct.
I'm taking it.
You're taking it.
I'm taking it, dude. I don't care. Like, that's the lottery right there. That's winning the lottery right there. I'm taking it, and everyone wins, man. A.J. Preller and the Padres win because they know what kind of player they're getting. They know what kind of guy he is. He posts every day. And Jackson Merrill wins. Would he have, if he stays healthy, would he have made a little bit more? Probably. But if someone gives you $135 million at 21 and you have a chance to even make another more money on the back end at 30, 31, you're taking it. Nice deal for everybody.
Nice deal for everybody. Great player. Kind of like the heart of that team, I think. They have some real big superstars on that team, and for him to shine above all of them down the stretch last year, you're looking at Harold Ren has always used to say this. He's like, I'm paying the brand, I'm paying the person, the human being too. If I'm going to pay somebody that much money, I want to pay for the guy who's, what does he do with his charities? How does he interact with the fans? How does he do all that? He seems like to have that makeup. So this was an easy move, I kind of feel like, for the Padres. Win-win for both sides.
I agree, dude. Chinch, you're so right. Harold's right. You pay for the person. If I'm locking somebody up, I got to know who's showing up, what he wants to be. I mean, You go to last year, he finished second to the rookie year, Paul Skeens, which a lot of people thought Jackson Merrill should win it just because he was a position player, and Skeens came up a little later. 24 pumps over an 826 OPS. But I love what he said recently to MLB.com. Last year was great, and it was fun. There were so many cool moments, but overall, I can be better. You want a guy that's like, you know what can I do better defensively? How can I be better offensively? How can I put together better at-bats? All that stuff. So when you have a guy like that, man, that's the kind of guy you want to lock into. And you talk about the beginning of the season, the Padres are 6-0 out the gates. He's already starting off. He's hitting 406 ribbies, hit his first pump the other day against the Guardians. I bet you A.J. Preller's like, okay, we can't let this guy keep going off without, if he had three big years in front of him, he's going to kill us at arbitration. And, so it's a great move. And you're right, man. When you're locking a guy up for 9 years, you're paying for the player as much as you're playing for the person, probably more than you're paying for the player.
Yeah, I agree. And one last point, moms and dads out there, if you want to be rich one day and retire early, name your kid Jackson, because between Jackson Merrill, Jackson Cheerio, and Jackson Holiday, those guys are going to be worth a couple $1 billion.
You're exactly right, dude. You're exactly right. Three of the best young players in the game right there.
Yeah, there you go. Let's flip it to the mound, dude. One guy who we have been told is maybe the strongest player in baseball did something very special last night on the mound. Who is that?
Yeah. Well, our man Matt Krause told us the other day, we asked him who are the strongest guys, and he said Nathan Eovaldi, one of the strongest guys he's ever worked with the Yankees. And I'll tell you what, man, you want to talk about a throwback, a guy that pounds the zone. I love how they're calling it a Maddux. A Maddux for a pitcher now, in tribute to Greg Maddux, is when you throw a complete game under 100 pitches. So he threw a complete game, which, dude, they're like rare as pterodactyls nowadays. You know what I mean? Aren't they? Aren't they complete games? Are you kidding me? And under 100 pitches? Stop it. They got guys now going Yamamoto, 5 innings, 97 pitches or whatever. These guys are trying to punch everybody out. But Eovaldi, so efficient in the zone. It was funny because Mike Maddux is the pitching coach for the Rangers. Yeah, isn't that cool? But, dude, what I love is the team aspect of service. When you're out there with guys, dude, at the end of the day, your job is to be a great teammate and serve others. Their bullpen had been really taxed in these last few games just to start the year, right? And Eovaldi knew, I think he had told Boch, I got to go deep in this game. I think this last start he went 8 innings. I don't know if he thought he was going to go complete game and shut piece, but, dude, talk about lockdown against the Reds, which is a pretty good offense. Wyatt Langford hit a home run and make it 1-0. Eovaldi just shut the game down. 99 pitches, filling up the strike zone, coming at guys, 1, 2, 3. There's nothing worse than when you're in the field playing against it with a guy that's going strike 1, strike 2, and then non-compete, 2-2, 3-2, and then, we got action. Eovaldi last night was like, here's strike 1, here's strike 2, gonna wipe you out or fill up the strike zone and let my 8 defenders do their job behind me. So great pitching outing already. One of the best of the year. We might see it all year long. It's just happening here in the first week.
Dude, talk about a gamer too, right? Don't we forget 2018 World Series versus the Dodgers. Remember, they had that 18-inning marathon game. He came in, he allowed 3 hits, 1 earned.
6 innings.
Yeah, 6 innings, 97 pitches. Set the record for most in a World Series game by a reliever. First reliever to throw 6+ innings in a World Series game since Rick Rhoden in '77. Here's another crazy stat. Where is it? Sarah Langs, give her props. She has the best stats in the world.
We love you, Sarah.
Yeah, this was the Rangers' first Maddux game. That's a shutout on fewer than 100 pitches since Kobe Lewis, 9/11/2015. That's how rare this is in baseball now. Yeah, so
9.5 years ago. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's getting rarer. They don't let guys go around 3 times. But also too, Bruce Bochy's the manager. Don't forget.
Old school.
He hasn't really bought into all that. Well, you can't go 3 times around. Yes, you can. Mm-hmm. If you have an arsenal that can navigate lineups and you throw strikes, the best pitch in baseball is strike 1. The best pitch in baseball still is a fastball at the knees located on the corners. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah.
Nowadays, guys are just throwing it down the middle and letting it work on you. That doesn't mean you're being efficient in the zone. So Bruce Bochy knew what he was watching. He's got that old school mentality of, I'm going to let this guy go until somebody starts hitting him. Mm-hmm. And if there's any traffic, I'm going to let him get out of it.
There you go.
And he's a veteran pitcher, so let him do his thing. So it was a perfect storm for that, too, for him to stay in the game.
Yeah, speaking of old school, little small ball yesterday. Caught your
Yeah, dude. Well, I love this story because our man, one of my best friends in the world, Mark Budzinski, first base coach for the Blue Jays, did a little bunting competition at spring training, got the hula hoops out, the cones. And John Schneider, the manager of the Blue Jays, was talking about he gave $1,000 of his own money out there and had some of the guys, not like Bo Bichette and Vlad Jr. out there, but he had like the Will Wagners and the Ernie Clements and the guys that, hey, you put a bunt down, move a runner over, we're going to win some ball games. I feel like the bunt's starting to come back because, at the end of the day, offense is down and runs are at a premium. So if we got to move a guy over, people are starting to realize not everyone's just up there hitting 2-run bombs. You move a guy over, get him in the scoring position, and then you get him in with a ground ball or a fly ball. That's a point across the board. And you saw that last night. They got a couple nice bunts down, and they asked John Schneider after the game. He said, "Listen, we worked on this all spring training with some of these fun games, getting them in the hula hoop into
How
the
great
between
is
the
that
cones."
as a coaching dude? Think about 8:00 bunting practice in the morning in spring training. Talk about advancing that and making it a fun thing and making something for the players to look forward to. And then when it translates onto the field, that's so cool, dude.
It's so cool. And dude, listen, Mark Budzinski. I was with Bud in college. Mark, there's no harder worker in the big leagues. I'm serious. Than the first base coach for the Blue Jays. No one beats him to the weight room. No one. I'm sure he's still running sprints. No one's harder in game planning, working with players, trying to get them better. And I just love that Bud came up with the hula hoops and the cones. Dude, because when I was down there a couple years ago with Jake, Bud brought Jake out early to work on bunting. And I was like, this is a clinic right here of him teaching him how to bunt. That's not an easy thing. So it's a skill that I think the analytics came in and said, oh, it's just another out. No, not outs are all created equal. A guy punching out and taking a right hand or left hand turn just right into the dugout is not as productive as a guy laying a bunt down, moving a guy from first to second or second to third in a situation, maybe in the third inning, where we got to score runs on a guy that can't hit the ball at the ballpark all the time. So let's start having common sense come back into baseball and say, hey, well, if we can move a runner over and get him in, it works. And I know people are going to hear this, analysts say, oh, that's not what the numbers say. I don't care what the numbers say. At the end of the day, you got to win ball games tonight. You got to get more guys across home plate than the other team. Sometimes it's good to lay a bunt down.
There you go. And again, you said there are hula hoops, cones, all sorts of different markers. And each day, red and blue bars would stretch out from each player's name, tracking their total points that were tallied up for the whole team to see. So think about how competitive the guys are. They were probably doing side bets. Not that that's
there's no
with 100%, not real money, obviously.
Yeah, no real money.
Yeah. All right, you're on fire, dude. What else caught your attention last night?
Well, dude, Gino Suarez. Eugenio. All right, cut that out.
Okay.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
Eugenio Suarez, has 5 hits this year, 5 bombs. Talk about efficiency, and hit a grand slam last night off Mark Leiter, kind of threw a split finger, it stayed up, and he clipped one just over Bellinger's glove for a grand slam. But to have 5 hits and 5 home runs, that's not easy to do.
No.
And he said he's not trying to hit him; he's really trying to drive the ball. He just has that swing that kind of catches it out front. Sometimes that's a do or die guy because when you're getting too far out front, you're swinging and missing. But then you get it out front and you're hitting home runs. So
yeah.
So I thought that stat line was interesting. And also Dustin May, good for you, bro. Haven't pitched in the big leagues in a couple years. Comes back last night, after coming back from a couple injuries and a scary thing where he choked on some salad, I think last year in May, and had to have esophagus surgery. That's why he ended up missing the rest of the year. Came back, looked like a veteran out there, 27, years old, still a young buck, and went out there and had a really nice game. So it was nice to see him back out there.
It's kind of annoying to me, like very annoying to me. You know what the first thing everybody asked about Suarez?
What?
Can you guess? Does he use a torpedo bat? Are you over the torpedo bat conversation at this point?
I'm so over it, dude. Like I said, when
yesterday they pulled Pat McAfee pulls Sean Casey in to talk about torpedo bats.
Yeah,
if he doesn't care about baseball.
Yeah, went on Pat McAfee yesterday. Yeah, exactly. They're interested when they hear the word torpedo. If they're talking baseball on the Pat McAfee show, they're going on there for 5 minutes. They're like, We got to go.
Yeah.
We got to go. We got a hard out in 5. I was like, all right, here we go. Let me see if I can get the whole torpedo gate.
You did. You did great with it.
5 minutes, yeah.
That was tight. Anyway, yeah, enough with the torpedo bats as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, dude. At the end of the day, that now that a couple guys haven't hit homers, no one's talking about it.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It's just, it's the. I saw Pat Murphy say the same thing. It's the magician, not the wand.
Yes, he used the magician, not the wand.
Yeah, I like that.
said your line yesterday. Enough's enough. Enough's enough.
Exactly.
What else you got?
That's it, dude. Sean Tonder's been back and pitching well after Tommy John surgery. Senga had a nice start. Punched out 8.
The Dodgers. Dodgers.
What'd you say?
Dodgers are still the best team in the world right now, I think. Your thoughts?
Dodgers, dude. The Dodgers are loaded, man. The Dodgers are absolutely loaded. Yeah, it's just been fun. I think the Dodgers are 7-0. The Padres are 6-0. The Blue Jays are looking good at 4-2. The Yankees came out banging, right out the gates. It's been fun to watch baseball be back, dude. At the end of the day, and the star power in the game, I think, is as good as it's ever been. Kyle Tucker has hit 4 home runs in 4 games for the Cubs. Looks like an absolute beast. The Cubs needed that. They needed a star player back in that lineup, and they have it. So that's fun to watch. The Giants are playing well. I mean, the NL West looks great, dude. 7-0 the Dodgers, 6-0 the Padres. Giants are 4-1. Arizona 3-2. At the end of the day, if you want to play in the NL West, you want to play in that sandbox, hey, guess what? You better win some games because the Dodgers are really, really good. But so are the Padres and San Fran. They've all those teams upgraded themselves. Corbin Burns to the Diamondbacks. Verlander, Adames to the Giants. San Diego was pretty loaded already. Locked and loaded. Obviously, the Dodgers are who they are, and the Rockies are in trouble.
I will give props to one other team today. I'll give props to one other team, though, for totally different reasons. The Angels, dude. They are 4-1. On opening day, they got crushed by the White Sox, who was almost officially the worst team in the history of baseball last year, right? Or close to it.
Yeah, they were.
They get smoked out. Trade Trout. The night of opening day, people are like, you got to trade Trout. He can't play there anymore. They've won 4 games in a row. Give them credit. They take a lot of beatings for stuff. And to go down, to lose so badly on opening day to the White Sox and have your entire fan base saying, here we go again. And then to win the next 4 to start the season, good props to them for that's some intestinal fortitude right there.
Hey, Ron Washington. And also, too, I love what they did in that clubhouse, like going against the trends. And hopefully we see it more in our houses and in clubhouses, where they took the phones out. Phones are not allowed in the clubhouse at your locker. If you make a call, you go out to the dugout, you go out of the clubhouse. And I believe it was Trout and Logan O'Hoppe kind of put it together. But yeah, dude, one of the best things about being a clubhouse back in the day when there was no phones, hanging out with the guys, playing cards. I know before the game in 2008, me, Alex Cora, Kevin Cash, and Big Papi used to play dominoes. We'd have to be like, hey, Papi, you're playing. It's 6:57. And 3 of us aren't, but you got to get out there right now and get it done. Then Manny would jump in. It was great. And those are the things I remember about the clubhouses. But I think nowadays, a lot of guys get on their phones and they're checking things out and they're doom scrolling. So, like, the fact that the phones are out, I think that's going to be it's a great precedent to set coming into this season that, like, hey, man, we're in this together. We spend more time together than we do with our families. Let's make sure we spend that time together, not just on our phones doom scrolling somebody else's life.
Lance Lynn just pretty much officially retired. He was on his wife's podcast, and he just popped it out there. And he said what you guys have all said, any baseball player I've ever known, like, you miss the guys, you don't miss the grind.
Right.
You miss the guys.
You miss the guys, dude.
Yes.
I could take the grind if I got the guys.
Right. There you go.
You miss that. You miss grinding with the guys.
Yeah. It's just social interaction too.
You miss like being like, dude, I'm grinding today. So am I. Hey, let's go get them.
Yeah, kids, get off your phones. Get off your phones. What do you call it? What do you call it? What did you call
Doom scrolling. Doom scrolling, and I call it the dream crusher. Hey, kids, you want to crush your dreams? Stay on these more than you hit and throw and field and all that stuff. Right here, the dream crushers.
There you go. That's the kind of insight you're going to get on Sean Casey.
Repetition is the mother of skill.
You hear all these lines from Sean Casey? Sign up for his program. 8 weeks, April 27th.
Yeah, April 27th, Breakthrough Pro. Get it out there, guys. Coaches, parents. If you want to be a better parent with your kids that are playing, you want to be a better coach, you want to be a better player, come join Breakthrough Pro. Believe me.
Gotcha.
It will be 8 of the best weeks that you spend. You spend all this money on hitting coaches. You spend all this money on pitching coaches, spend all this money on weightlifting coaches. Guess what? When you get in the game, you're going to need the stuff that I teach for those 8 weeks of Breakthrough Pro. I promise you.
How about this? Instead of going out and buying your kids a freaking torpedo bat, sign up for Sean Casey's thing. You'll get a lot more out of that than the
Exactly.
torpedo bat.
Exactly, dude. We're trying to make magicians. Okay. You want to go get the nice wands? You got to be a magician first. That's all up here, guys.
Beautiful. All right, brother.
All right, Chichi, love you, dude. You look great in that button-down Easter, getting ready to open up the pool and all that stuff. Everyone out there, thanks for listening. Yeah, I like that button. Jess is liking that. I love everybody out there. Appreciate you. Subscribe and download. It doesn't cost one penny. We'll see you.
See you.